Hi there folks, and welcome to Get Strumming. Now before I begin, I'm just going to explain what I'm about to do. Basically, I'm going to do the presentation that I was due to do last night. Unfortunately, YouTube wouldn't let me do the presentation as a live stream because you need 1,000 subscribers. So we're nearly halfway there anyway, we've nearly got 500. So maybe in another few months, we'll get up to that 1,000 mark and I'll be able to do a live stream. I was looking forward to doing a live stream because I could interact more with people, take questions there and then, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. But not to worry, onwards and upwards, and hopefully we'll get there in due course. Okay then, so what I'm going to do now is just go through the fine array of ukuleles that I've acquired over the last few months, or years actually in the case of some of them. Tell you a little bit about them, and also at the end of this presentation I might be able to kind of put you in the right direction of which ukulele might suit you. If you haven't got a uke, then this is a perfect presentation to kind of watch in your own time and kind of make your own decisions as to which ukulele will suit you best. Okay then, so first of all we're going to have a look at the Soprano Uke. So it's this one here. Now this is a Gear for Music special. It's a Sapele Soprano Uke. Now this is basically the smallest sized you can get. You can get smaller than this. You can get ukuleles called pineapple ukes and really diddy little ukuleles, but this basically is the smallest size, the standard smallest size that we use, and it's a soprano, and ideally it's useful for people with small hands, maybe kids, maybe people that are small in stature. So yeah, this is a Gear for Music Sapele Soprano Uke. And now first of all I'll just go into the dimensions of these ukuleles. Now a soprano uke will usually have between 12 and 15 frets. Now this one's got 15, and as I say, it's the smallest uke in the collection, as you can see. There's another soprano uke which I'll take down in a minute, and you're looking about I think it's about 20 inches, so they're really cool to hold. Now this one is basically a mahogany body. It's beautiful actually. It's got little etched pattern there, and Gear for Music etched in at the headstock. And if you notice as well, it's got two strap buttons. Now it's always handy to have a strap to put on your uke, so you don't have to worry about dropping it. And also, whenever you put a uke strap on, try and get it so that the uke is around chest height. So you get to hold it right to your chest, and you're aiming to strum it just where the body meets the neck there. So just about here, so using your first finger. There we go. And this one, as I say, has got a mahogany body. It's basswood ply as a fretboard, so the fretboard is made of basswood ply. Basswood is a kind of North American wood. It's really soft to play, so when you're putting your fingers on, it's really comfortable, which is what you want when you're a beginner on the ukulele. You want something that's not going to be too difficult to play. This ukulele has got Aquila strings, so the nylon strings, good quality strings, and this one is available for £34.99. That's pound sterling, and it's really good quality beginner's ukulele. Now what I'm going to do is just compare that with this one here. This is another Gear for Music ukulele, slightly less expensive, and you can kind of tell with the bodywork, it's a little bit rougher, but this is still a nice uke, and this is one of the more cheaper Gear for Music brands. You're probably looking about 25 quid for this. And again, this is great. It's got geared tuning heads. So in fact, what I'm going to do now is just explain what I mean by geared tuning heads. If you look here, you can see we've got these little cogs here. These are the gears. Now, what happens when you tune a geared ukulele tuning head is basically 14 twists of these plastic heads here, 14 turns equals one complete cycle of the gear here. So 14 twists means that this goes round once. Now this is great because what it means is it means that you get more accuracy when you're tuning your uke. So there you go. So I'm twisting it, and it's the tuning pitch is going up ever so slightly, so you can really afford to be accurate with these tuners. Now, what I'm going to show you now is this is a banjo ukulele or a banjolele. Now, it's only got 2 strings on it. Needs a bit of work doing on it. But I'm going to show you what these have got. Now, these have got friction tuners. Now, what this means is for every turn, for every twist, you're doing one complete twist or one complete turn of the tuning head. So unlike the geared tuners, if you're twisting the tuning peg round now, you've got to be very careful if you want to be accurate. I'll just show you what I mean. So do you? And that's only with the slightest twist. So it's really difficult to get accurate tuning here. And also watch what happens with this. It kind of springs back. So it's not even holding it in place. So if you ever come across a ukulele which has got friction tuners, and they don't have the gears on the back there, the little cogs, I wouldn't bother with it myself because it's going to be such a killer to actually tune. And it's really difficult to set the strings in place when you're tuning, you see. So I would steer clear from friction tuning pegs, and I always favour the geared tuning pegs. Much easier to handle. There we go, you see. So this is one turn. So you're kind of shifting probably a quarter tone in pitch with one turn, so it's really accurate. So that's one of the kind of the things that I'd be looking for when you're buying a uke. Get one with geared tuning heads. Anyway, so yes, so I've gone through the Soprano uke. So this is a Sapele from Gear for Music, $34.99. This is probably about £10 cheaper. Again, not a bad ukulele, and certainly good enough for, say, a young child to be starting off on. And also you can get them with these fancy pictures as well. This is more of a plain model uke. But yeah, both really good ukuleles to begin with, if you're a starter. Okay then, so I'll hang this back up. Next up, we've got this Kawaii concert ukulele. Or, to give it another name, an alto uke, if you're using the kind of terminology for vocals. So you've got soprano, alto, so this is next, but they're also called a concert uke. Now, quite a lot of people tend to use these. This is the next size up. So you're going to be looking at between frets up to about 20 frets. So this one's got 20 frets. And it's a beautiful little uke, this actually. It's there's concert ukuleles usually between 20 and 23 frets, and they're a really good size again for beginners because it's not too big. A lot of the ladies in the over 60s group that I teach tend to play concert ukes, concert size ukes. Now this one, as I say, this has got a solid mahogany top, so you've got actually quite a nice warm sound to it. There we go. Yeah, and it's got laminate back and sides. And what else have we got here? I'm just reading the spec here. I want to make sure that I get everything. And of course, again, die-cast gear tuners. See, can't beat them, these gear tuners. When I say gear tuners, just remember the little cogs like you get in a clock. so it's just a lot easier to to tune. Let's have a look. Yeah, 26 inches, one of these, and this Kawaii ukulele would cost you around about £50. And again, dead easy to use. The only thing that it could really do with is a strap button, putting on the bottom, so I can put a strap on. So there we go. So that's the Kawaii concert uke. Let's say £50, and I would say it's £50 well spent if you got one of these. Really nice ukulele. Okay, so moving along, we've got next up, we've got the tenor. As I mentioned before, you've got your soprano, concert or alto, tenor, baritone and bass. So we're on the tenor now. Now this is a ukulele that I bought from a shop in Huddersfield a few years ago now, called Eagle Music. Really good shop for folk type of instruments, a lot of banjolales, banjos, ukuleles, guitars, really good shop. Now this tenor ukulele has a low G on it. This other ukulele, which I'm going to come onto in a minute, has got a high G. So there we go, that's got a high G, and this has got, boom, there we go, low G. And why does some ukuleles have a low G? Well, you can kind of get a little bit more out of it with having the low G. You can get a more richer kind of tone, whereas the high G, you kind of still clinging on to that kind of high-pitched ukulele sound. Like that. And then an F chord using the uke with a bass, with a low G. There you go, so it's a much richer tone. But it's horses for courses. If you want a high G, you can get a high G. If you want a low G, get a pack of strings, usually Aquila, with a low G in it, and you can string your tenor uke up with a low G. Now this Ohana ukulele, it's a real beauty. In fact, it's actually, it's an electroacoustic, so you can plug it in. So you plug it in there. Now this one, it's a solid mahogany top. It's got mahogany laminate back and sides, and it's also got a cutaway. So if you want to get up to these top notes, you can get right up there. So it's really handy for if you're playing stuff up here. I don't really play up here, but if you do, if you wanted to play bar chords up here, it enables you to do that. Yeah, beautiful uke this. It's hardwood fingerboard and bridge. I think the saddle is plastic, I don't think it's bone. On one of the ukuleles, I think on the Kawaii, it's bone, saddle and nut. That's your saddle there, and that's the nut. So the nut's the bit of white bit at the top, and the saddle is the white bit at the bottom. Some are made of plastic, some are made of bone. So depending on whether or not you want the vegetarian version of the ukulele, always ask, is it bone, saddle or nut, or is it plastic? I think these are plastic. And the tenor ukulele have got between, depending on what model you get, 15 and 20 frets. So you get a nice expanse of fretboard there. And also, yeah, 26 inches for one of these. So you can see now we're going up in size. So as I mentioned before, the ukulele group that I teach for the over 60s group, there are some women that have got some of these tenor ukuleles, but it's mainly because men tend to be a bit broader as we get older as well. I'm finding it myself. So it's nice to have something a little bit bigger to get your hands around. So yeah, this is the Ohana. This probably cost you about £200. I got this for about £200 from Eagle Music in Huddersfield. Now this one is another pride and joy of mine. This is a mainland, and this is a red cedar top, and it's got a real beautiful sound, this proper lacquered instrument. Here we go. So you've got, as I say, you've got the red cedar top. It's rosewood back and sides, and it's got a mahogany neck as well. And because it's lacquered, you tend to be able to move really quick up and down here. You know, it's smooth action on it. And again, you've got your gear tuners, but unlike the friction tuners, unlike the other gear tuners that I've just shown you, these are covered up, which is even better because it means the gears can't get dust and bits of crud inside them. So they're all covered up behind. You can actually pick these off or you can unscrew them and you'll find the gear mechanism inside. But yeah, this is mainland, and I actually bought this off a friend of mine, second hand, but brand new. You're probably looking about £300 for one of these, but it's got such a beautiful strident sound. And what I'm going to do now, actually, very quickly, I'm going to just, excuse me for a minute, there we go. I'm going to plug this one in just to show you what it sounds like plugged in, because some of the ukuleles that I've got are electroacoustic. Now, this one hasn't got the amplifier, it's just, you plug it in and it's just electrified, so it hasn't got volume control on it, but that's not always a necessity. There we go. Yeah, so I'd say really this is my favourite uke out of the lot. This is a mainland, and as I say, it's probably going to cost you about £300, but well worth it. And like I say, you can get hold of them second hand as well. So yeah, so I really recommend this if you're after a tenner, and maybe a concert might be a little bit small for you, then try one of these, try a tenner uke. Okay then, so first of all, I'm just going to explain as well another thing before I continue, that the ukuleles that we've looked at so far, the soprano, concert and tenor, are all tuned to GCEA. GCEA. I always say, good children eat apples. Little phrase there just to remember the string notes. GCEA. Now, GCEA is basically the top 4 strings of a guitar if you put a capo on the 5th fret. So here we go. So what I'm saying is the ukulele, the soprano, concert and tenor ukes are tuned up to the top 4 strings of a guitar, but 5 semitones higher than a normal guitar. So that's D, G, B, E. But if we put a capo on the 5th fret, what do we get? G, C, E, A. So here we go, I'll just demonstrate that now. So G. So obviously you've got the high G on here. I'll just pick this ukulele up here. It's just so to demonstrate a bit more with the low G. So G, C, E, sorry. Good children eat apples, G, C, E, A. And here we go, just to demonstrate. Good children eat apples, G, C, E, A. So if you've got a ukulele in your possession and it happens to have the tuning G, C, E, A, it's probably either a soprano, a concert, or a tenor ukulele. Good. So what I'm going to do now is put this back and get the next baby out, and that is this one. Now we're on to baritone. Now what you'll notice with a baritone is it's tuned to the top 4 strings of the guitar without the capo, so it's literally top 4 strings of the guitar. D, G, B, E. Okay, and just to show you that I'm not lying, D, G, B, E. So What this means is with a baritone uke that if you're a guitar player and you want to kind of advance to playing the ukulele, if you buy a baritone uke, then you'll be basically using the same chords as you would on a guitar. So in effect this is a G chord, obviously without your bottom two fingers because we haven't got the bottom two strings. And then there's a C, there's a D7, and there's a A7. Obviously all these chord shapes on a tenor ukulele are going to be different because the pitch is 5 semitones higher. So obviously this is a C when you're playing a soprano concert or a tenor. But with a baritone this is a G. C, D7, A7, D. But they're really great instruments to use, especially if there are a few ukulele players in your group and you want a baritone ukulele to just give it that deeper kind of sound. Coming down on a sunny day. So there we go. So this is the Ortega baritone uke. It's 30 inches, so again we're heading into small guitar territory, especially with the tuning. It's a spruce top and it's got a bright kind of sound to it for a baritone, quite a nice light sound, which is good because you don't want something too bassy. It's walnut fingerboard, so again nice easy to play fingerboard here, and this has been engraved. It's laser engraved, so it tells me here whatever that means, but there's a nice little pattern on it there, and obviously you've got the Ortega emblem there on the headstock. Again geared tuning with the all the gears covered up to protect the mechanics, and Aquila strings. And what else is there to say about this? Now this one, baritones have got 19 frets usually, so we're into big ukulele territory now. Yeah, so this one would probably cost you, at the moment they've got a special offer at Gear for Music, and if you go onto the Get Strumming website, this will be, if you put in baritone ukuleles on the Get Strumming shopping site, one of these will be up for sale, and I believe there's a special offer and it is now on for £84.50 sterling. So well worth getting if you're after getting a baritone uke. And again, I'm just going to show you, this plugs in. So I'm just going to demonstrate what it sounds like plugged in, and also it's got an Ortega amplifier on the side, so I'll show you how you can adjust the volume. There we go. So it packs some punch. Alright, we've got the tone here, so we can give it a real bass sound if you want. Kind of see how we're getting into guitar territory now. It sounds like a guitar. So there we go. So let's have a look, and we can just put a bit of top end. And obviously it's also got a tuner here on the side, so really good. Some people say, oh, but it's not a Fishman's pickup and tuner. It works, and it works really well. That's all I'm saying. It's great. And as I say, if you're after a decently priced baritone, you just cannot go wrong with this. Even got a strap button there, tie your strap to the, just put your string through the strings on the headstock. Perfect, you set up then. I haven't used it yet in the capacity of playing it in a band situation, just because I haven't been able to, because we've been in lockdown. But I'm looking forward to giving this a go when we're allowed. So there we go, this is the Ortega Baritone Ukulele. Right, I'm going to put this back, and last but not least, we have this Heartwood bass ukulele. Now, we're in a totally different field of ukuleles now. So I'm just going to give it a quick tune. There we go. Right. Yeah, so this is a bass ukulele now. What we tend to use these for are the rhythm sections in a band situation. So we don't tend to strum these, we tend to pluck individual notes. I'll just tell you a little bit about this ukulele first of all. So it's a Heartwood, and it's made from curly willow. So I bet you didn't know that. Curly willow, and it's got a beautiful kind of finish to it. In fact, you can kind of see why they call it curly willow, because it does kind of have a kind of curly effect on the wood. So it's beautiful to look at, and there's this gorgeous trim on it as well. Just bring that up closer. So yeah, this is gorgeous. And actually, for the money, I think I paid, I think it was £110 for this. Well worth it, really. If you're after a bass ukulele, you just cannot go wrong with this. Beautiful. And again, it's got an amplifier built in, so I'm gonna yet again show you what it sounds like plugged in. There we go. Just switch this on here. Right. So there we go, so it's all plugged in now, and oops, I'll turn it down a bit. So this is, like I say, it's more of a rhythm instrument. So the way you'd play one of these is you'd use probably either your thumb or you can use your first and second fingers. So there you go. So it's similar to one of these, bass guitar. It does the same, it's got the same function, but the bass ukulele is great because it's still keeping in with that ukulele sound. So it's not like you're bringing an instrument that's out of the ukulele family. So, and I'll just give you a couple of examples as to what I'd use it for. So say we did something like rock around the clock. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on, join me home. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. So there we go. So it kind of, having one of these in your ukulele band really helps to keep that time. And also it provides some bottom end, because most people will be playing probably a concert or a tenor uke. So you've got all this jangling at the top end of the sound range. And it's nice to have maybe a couple of baritones and maybe a bass player just to give it a bit of bottom end. So there we go. Now these are usually between 30 and 32 inches. So again, they're quite a big instrument to hold. But if you notice here, this is quite light really. So you're not, unlike using a bass guitar, which is really going to weigh you down. Having one of these means that you know, you can get those bass notes without breaking your shoulders, basically. Yeah, fret wise, this has got 16 frets, which should be just enough for what you need it for. Let's see, I'll play something else, a bit more modern perhaps. What about George Ezra? Roam, roam, alligator, see you later. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Deep sea diving round the clock, bikini bottoms, lager tops. I could get used to this. Time flies by when it's yellow and green. Stick around and you can see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. So there you go, that's the bass uke. And as I say, it's got bass, middle and treble here on the amplifier unit. Dead easy to play as well. I'll just turn that down. Yeah, so if you're new to the ukulele, but you fancy having a go at the bass uke, then they're a really simple instrument to play. All the frets are dead close, whereas on a bass guitar, the frets are a lot further apart, so you've really got to kind of stretch your fingers to play them. But the bass uke is great. In fact, bass uke might be good if maybe there's a child in the family that's wanting to play bass, but the bass might be a bit big for them. So you just say, oh well, start off on a bass ukulele. Plus, the great thing is with a bass ukulele, the strings are exactly the same as on a bass guitar. So now we've got, these are the bottom 4 strings of a guitar, or the 4 strings of a bass. So we've got E, A, D, G. So that's how you tune a bass ukulele. E, A, D, G. Baritone, it's D, G, B, E. And the soprano, concert and tenor, it's G, C, E, A. So there's the different tunings that you're going to need for each ukulele. Yeah, so as I say, I think this for about £110. Go on Gear for Music. This one is a Heartwood HW sub CWE. So check this out. Again, go on Get Strumming, and you'll be able to obviously check this out along with many of the other ukes. This Ohana ukulele is available at Eagle Music, as is the mainland ukulele, this one here. So if you want to check those out, feel free. But there's a whole host of stuff also on Gear for Music that you can check out on the Get Strumming website. So, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a real treat actually just going through these ukuleles, and hopefully at the end of this session by now you'll be thinking, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind a concert maybe, or I wouldn't mind a tenor. Or if you've got any small kids or anybody with little fingers, then one of these will do, the soprano. So yeah, just have a think, have a shop around, and you don't have to spend silly money to buy ukes. I mean, obviously this one's my pride and joy. Brand new, this would be about £300. You can buy a decent tenor ukulele for £50–60. So, you know, it's basically, the more you spend, the more of a polish you get. But I'd just steer away from stuff that have tuning pegs a little bit like this Banjo Ukulele, which are friction pegs. Just sounds rubbish, and it doesn't stay in tune. But yeah, any of these ukuleles that I've shown you can't go wrong. So thank you very much for joining me, and don't forget to please press that subscribe button and the little bell as well, so whenever I bring out a new video you can be the first to see it. And also leave me comments in the comment section, because if you've got any songs or anything that you want me to teach you song wise, or maybe you want me to do a discussion on a particular topic. I've recently been doing a lot of Beatles kind of podcasts, and I'm just about to start work on a documentary about when the Beatles came to Huddersfield, which is where I live in West Yorkshire in England, and I'm going to do a documentary, a proper full-scale documentary on that, interviewing people that were actually there at the time. So if you've got any suggestions like that, I'm more than happy to give them a go, whether it's a podcast, documentary, or a simple, straightforward lesson on the ukulele. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and to like. And if you keep your interest in this channel, I'll keep doing it because I absolutely love it. Well, take care for now, and don't forget to keep on strumming. Take care. Bye-bye.